Seen it on the quad, and it's kind of disgusting, but it's exactly what happened. Is something got in through here, built a nest in here. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Maintenance with Mike. So today you can see we've got a nice warm fire going in the shop here. I want to pose the question, am I wired differently than everybody else? Because the first thing I do when I buy a new piece of equipment is I take it all apart and see how it's built. It gives me a baseline so I can review things throughout the life of the machine. And, you know, little things like the alternator tension, checking how the air filter is going to draw in air, where it's at, the CVT belt, pull the cover off, check the tension on that belt. Like, does it seem like it's sitting sloppily in the clutch and the drive pulley from the factory? And then obviously that's when it spins up, it tightens against the sheaves, and right? So it's just a good way to figure out your piece of equipment. And that goes for everything. That's not for the new Coyote K9, the Kubota BX, a boat, a bike, whatever, right? So today we have got a little bit of an interesting one for you. So we're continually fighting with rodents in acreage. You know, leaving equipment outside, you're just asking for something to build a nest under the hood or in the airbox. So I've developed a little bit of a plan that I do with every piece of equipment. And I did it for the Kawasaki Quad as well. And I'm doing it on the Coyote right now. And I'm gonna share with you my secret on how to keep rodents out of the CVT air intake drive and the air intake for the motor. So let's get started. So funny thing, the other day when I was looking at the parts that I was going to purchase for the new plow that we're going to be installing in another video, I got down the rabbit hole of okay, if we leave the machine outside in the carport when we know it's going to snow, because it's easier to get in and out, you know, it'd be nice to plug it in. It'd be nice if I had a block heater. We could plug it in first thing when I get up in the morning to warm the block before we fire it up. Upon further inspection now, with taking this side panel off, guess what? It's already pre-wired with a block heater. I never knew that. If I hadn't taken this side cover off, I may have never found out until I had already ordered the new block heater. So anyway, let me show you what I got going on here. So this is the driver's side, or operator's left of the machine. This is a panel that that sits on here that I've taken off, and it covers the air intake for the CVT. So on this CVT transmission, you've got a filter which keeps all the dust and stuff getting into the sheaves and the belt. It just makes it last longer. So we're going to leave that in. And what happens is I've seen it on the quad, and it's kind of disgusting, but it's exactly what happened. Is something got in through here, built a nest in here, and before I knew it, you know, I was taking the quad out for a ride, and I'm like, why isn't it like the Kawasaki Quad has an EBC, which is an engine braking system, or something like that, EBS, EBC, and it's these little forks that come out and slow the machine down so it doesn't run away. Anyway, long story short, when I took that all apart to figure out what was going on, it was all full of hair and stuff. And I'm trying not to be disgusting here, but that's exactly realistically what happened. Is something was in there and it basically just chewed it all up, right? So we don't want that inside the CVT transmission. It just causes issues, as well as the air intake as well. They get into the air box and build nests, right? I don't know why manufacturers don't try to safeguard for this a little bit better, but it is what it is. So we've got standard roll of chicken wire here, is what this is. And these are probably quarter inch squares. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut a square that fits here. We're just going to fold it around and tie wrap it in behind this bell so it can't come off. And basically, rodents can chew through concrete, I think, if they really want to. But anyway, this seems to deter them from chewing through. I mean, I'm sure you can appreciate if it got behind this panel here, it would just chew through this foam thing and it'd be in there. And that's a really nice little house. So to keep that from happening, we're going to cut out a square We're going to wrap it around here, fold it back, weave a tie wrap through the 1/4 inch squares, and just tighten it up in behind this bell so nothing can get around and into this intake. So let's do that now, and then we're going to go over and we're going to do the air intake as well and show you how to do that. This is specific to this machine, but like I said, I did the same thing on the Kawasaki Quad. So we want to fold that enough to fold that right over along this run. This stuff cuts pretty easy with a pair of Wiss cutters. Just stay in the same section of squares. We'll cut down a little ways here, and then we'll fold it up and see how much more we need to cut. A little bit more. And then we'll cut all these little pieces off here so we don't end up cutting into that boot. But once this is tie wrapped on, it'll be nice and strong. Okay, that's far enough down. For sure, we can always trim this up a little later, right? Now, which section are we in here? This one here. Oops, let's follow that along again. Okay, so that's our piece that we've got here now. And what we basically want to do is just fold it top and bottom. So this is the one here. We're going to fold it right along this line here. The next fold here. Now I think you can sort of appreciate by seeing how that looks now, how we're going to keep these little guys out of here. Yeah, so we're going to make a cut here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares down. See that? So it's really hard to see, right? So we've cut 7 squares down. We're going to fold this inside and make a little box. It's almost like wrapping a Christmas present, really. Fold the sides in, right? So now we're left with a sort of a box, right? The bottom of it is here, so let's cut down here. It's going to have to go a little bit further because we're trying to do a round piece with a square, right? Now, boy, what size is that, I wonder? Is that the same size as a piece of pipe? We have found a citronella candle that's been sitting out in the rain and kind of gross, but the idea is it's the proper diameter around, so we can then try to bend these corners properly. To give us a better fit. Right? I think that's going to work better. Yeah, and then we can sort of tighten it up here. You can see how that's working better to give us the diameter we need. Okay, so we've got it sort of bent around there. as best we can. We've got these super long tie wraps that are going to pass through these little 1/4 inch pieces. So you basically just want to, go through 1 or 2 as you go around here. You might need a few tie wraps, which is fine. You can put them, you can tighten them into each other, right, to make them longer. It's not, the prettiest thing you've ever seen, but I mean, yeah, if the rodent wants in there, it's going to chew through the rubber boot to get in there. But I don't know. My thought is I haven't had one inside there since I started doing this little trick. Let's move over to the air intake side and show you how we do that side as well. Okay, so we're at the back of the machine now on the operator's right, and we can see a few things here. We can see the fuel cell here, fuel cell, engine, air cleaner. So this is the air cleaner into the motor. What we're looking at is the pipe that comes into the air cleaner before it goes into the motor. So if we follow this around, here's the end of the pipe right here. It's got like a 45 cut in it. Probably really hard to see. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to have to wrap that. That is about 1.5 inch opening on that. And that allows air to get sucked in to this tube. And it goes into the air filter and then into the engine. So we're going to wrap this end here to make sure nothing can crawl in and get into the filter and chew all the filter up and make a little house in there. So anyway, cut this tie wrap. Pull the tie wrap out of that holder there. Take this screen out here for now. Pull this hose right out of here. Sharpie is your friend. So basically, it's going to sit like this, and we want to cut. We want to give ourselves a little bit of flange to bend. Now, I'm sure this is not going to be perfect, but the idea would be is we can now just wrap this. You want to squeeze it so that it cuts off the air. You can sort of bend it around as required. So some sort of a boot on there, so they can't get in. That's the idea, right? And we'll just tie wrap that to that pipe so it can't come off. So of course we have to now pass this back through here, which I can't really show you. It's really hard to get in there. Slide this on, and then we'll have to tie wrap that, and then tie wrap the hose back into this fastener that's here. Hey, thanks for watching another episode of Maintenance with Mike. So that will conclude today's video. I hope this shows you well enough the concept of what we're trying to achieve here with the air intake to the engine and the air intake to the CVT. Just block off that access with some sort of chicken wire or something so they can't get easy access. If they want to get into that CVT, they're going to chew through the rubber pipe. But generally, I haven't seen that yet. So I hope this helps you do your own vehicles. Maybe put something in the comments if you try this, or if you do something a little bit different. If you like these videos, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. Share them with a family member or friend, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.